to visit with me and my family. This is our history and history of our families to come. I was born in 1932, and when I delivered, they had someone in the family was sent to tell family that I had arrived, and they told my grandfather Gregory that I had, and I don't recall if I was told they told him my weight or not, but they told him my name, Wilma Dean. And he looked puzzled. And he said, "Quilly Dean?" And now I can understand what he was up against, because he was very hard of hearing. I too have some hearing loss, and many words that I hear are not the ones that were spoken. So it may sound far-fetched to get Quilly Dean out of Wilma Dean, but I fully understand. We're talking about my husband's lineage, and I wanted to tell you that I was very happy to learn that we were able to go as far back in history as Adam and Eve for the Wilsons' side of the family. In the Field side, Don's mother's side, we found lineage or roll number for the Cherokee Nation Indians of Oklahoma. And I was happy about that and proud, as I think anyone would be, to realize they had some of that history behind them. Anything from here on is possible. My family, early family, came mostly from Europe. My early family came from United Kingdom, and my earlier settlers from Virginia and Florida moved to Arkansas and Oklahoma mainly.
So we're going to meet with the Grand Chief DuPont at this point, and also with her mother. Let's see, who is it here? This Chief DuPont. Hey, Chief DuPont!
Yes, sir.
Oh, this is the Chief DuPont.
Well, you're the Whiskey Warrior, buddy. The Whiskey Warrior, and I got Mama Chief Tupon's in the
Oh,
bag.
who is here? Oh, is she Vilna?
Morning.
Morning. How are you doing? Good.
Good job.
So we're ready to start this trip.
It has always been important to us to be together, visit, and work and do as a family and a team. We have always worked and done stuff together as a family and as a team. I began collecting this information that you're able to see now on your computer. I've been collecting this since the early 60s, 1960. And that means I've been saving the pictures and family notes taken from family Bibles and any other kind of document or help that I could get. I've always saved it, and today you're seeing the results of those years of preserving our family histories. My mom, Pearl Gregory Robinson, helped me in the beginning with what she had from her family, and she also had Dad's family. So all those years ago of collecting is what you see now. And I hope that it's rewarding to you to be able to have it. Now, I want to tell you about my husband Don's family, the Wilson side of the family. It's time now to talk about the Wilson side of the family. My husband Don's lineage was able to be tracked back as far as Adam and Eve. And I thought that was just a very important thing to tell you, so you know what to watch for in the story. Don's father was Baz Washington Wilson. He served in World War I, and after the war was over, he was selected to remain in Germany and help rebuild their country. And then on the field side of the family, we have some Indian lineage, of which I was very proud to find. Robinson and Gregory is primarily my history. Mom was a Gregory, and I was happy to know that the Robinson family came from Great Britain, and because I've always been kind of partial to some of the people from Ireland, and it's to my pleasure to know I actually have been right in my secret wishes over all these years. Mom's side of the family, Gregory, has something else that in its lineage that, as I've told you before, was pleasing to me. And that is that our background for the Gregorys also have a connection to the Choctaw Nation of Oklahoma, one of the Indian tribes here. And I am very pleased and proud to realize that this is in my history, and I hope that you will be too. When I was a child, I knew my grandmother, Gregory, which all the kids called her Granny, and I loved her very much. In fact, so much that when I had a granddaughter, I asked the parents to help her learn to call me Granny. As I said, because I loved my Granny very much. It didn't work out that way for my grandchild, but that's okay. When I was a little girl, we lived pretty close to my Granny. And my mother, when it was time for us to have our noon meal, she would ask me to go to Granny's and get her and bring her back home with her, to have lunch with us, or the noon meal. By this time, my Granny had lost her eyesight almost completely, I don't really know which. And it was hard for me as a little girl to keep her on the road, because she wanted to veer one way or another way. And she was strong. One time in particular, she got out in the ditch and up on top, on the other side of the ditch. And I was trying to get her back into the road, but she was so sure in her mind that she was going the right way. It was very difficult. And I don't remember helping her after that. I have had many wonderful times and memories in my life. And the most precious thing in my 89 years has been my family. The family is all important to me. And I love each one of my closest families and for other family members. I dearly love all of you. Especially, of course, important to mine and Don's lives were our boys, Don Jr. and Hal. And I hope that you will enjoy the family history that I have partially, or maybe mostly completely. Don and I married in 1950. This is 2021. That's almost unimaginable to me, that so much time has passed. But the family remains number one of importance. And I want Don's ancestors and his lineage to come to know that we've had a good life and that the Wilson family was just so good to me. They were just accepted me and it was just good. And I would like those people in that family to know how much I thought of their kin, their family, their relations. I can't say hardly, no. I didn't get to know Don's dad very well. He passed away early. But his mother was a gem, a beautiful gem of a person. No one person could be any better than she was, in my mind. And I want the Wilson family, the Fields family, to know this and feel it as I feel it. Don's been gone almost, it has been. It's been 11 years that Don's been gone. That's hard. But anyway, love and family, that is enough. But it is and always should be priority. We need to love each other. And that's what I have had in my life. Lots of family love. When I think of my ancestors many generations ago, I wonder how good a life they had or how hard a life they had. But I would like for them to know that I say thank you for being able to do all that was necessary to move to the United States. The United States is in my heart and everything, that the United States is the best place that anyone could ever live and call home. Sure, that's a personal opinion, but it's my opinion. I love our nation, and I am happy to be a citizen of the United States of America. I love our flag, the red, white, and blue. I love to see it flying in the breeze. I owe all that to those people who made every effort that they could to come here. And it touches my heart when I think about some of the hardships that they experienced many, many hardships. Some hardships and some unimaginable hardships happened to my American Indian lineage. They had everything taken from them and moved halfway across the United States to a land that they knew nothing about. My forefathers did this. And I'll tell you that I am happy that they withstood and made it all the way here where we live today. As I've said before, my mother helped me get started. She had written down in the family Bible our dates of birth and when one got married or whatever dates she thought was important. She kept that. And that was, I guess, started me off on trying to keep all records in one place together so they could help in times to come. Well, here we are in times to come. But one more thing that I can tell you is my sister, Glenna, the oldest of my mom's and dad's 6 children, wrote me in the late 70s or early 80s that she wanted me to write down some, like a short story of what it meant to be a daughter of Esco and Pearl. And I recall wondering how can I ever write that down? There's no way. There's no way. I gave her a humble offering on paper, and she combined all 6 of our stories together and gave it to Mom and Dad. I think that was wasn't a starting point, I was already started, but something to encourage me to go ahead with saving and protecting our family history. And we've had different members of my immediate family, my sister Aline, my brother Bob. They both wrote up family information history, and it is in our computer story today. My family, we've had some wonderful times together. We've done a lot of gathering together and eating together and laughing together, telling true things on each other that was like telling jokes, as so many of us would laugh and laugh at the stories being told over again of our lives and our memories. I am happy with my history. I had a loving mother and dad, 5 wonderful brothers and sisters, and a life that is just so embracing, I'll say. I miss some of you so much. My immediate family just has me and Bob left in it. Or Bob and I left in it. I'm trying to straighten that up, I think. And he's almost completely lost his eyesight. He fell about 2-3 months ago. Broke his hip. And he's confined to his home unless he's with somebody. So we're getting down to nieces and nephews. And nieces and nephews, I love you. I love you. I love you very, very much. Every one of you are special to me. And then Dawn in my lives. We still have our 2 boys. I live with Hal, my youngest son, in Arkansas. I'm so fortunate to have a son that can tackle or willing to tackle keeping Mom and watching over her. He's a good caretaker. And I appreciate it very much. Don Jr. is fairly close by. Two of my granddaughters, their daughter Jacqueline lives in Tahlequah also. And so it makes for a real good day. If we can go to Tahlequah, we get to see Don, Vicky, Jacqueline, and her family. My other 2 granddaughters both live in Minnesota, and we don't get to see them very often. I'm hopeful that some way they will be able to come down for Christmas. It's very near Christmas time, 2021, and I hope they can come. Don Jr. and Vicky live about an hour away in Tahlequah, Oklahoma. Don's health is not just real good, but we're fortunate to be together. As I told you, Al is my caretaker because I could not live alone. There isn't any way that would be possible. I had to give up driving, and there are just more ways that I could tell you that it isn't possible, and I'm so fortunate to have a loving son that would do this for me. And I try to tell him every day, many times, how I appreciate it and love him for what he's doing. Another wish I have, or hope I have, is that I hope my life has been a guide, just a little bit of a guide for my grandchildren and my great-grandchildren. I hope that the way they see me, the way I love them, I hope each one of them remembers me and said, my Bangie loved me. Bangie, B-A-N-G-I-E, is what my oldest granddaughter called me in one of the other segments. I said I wanted Don Jr. and Vicki to teach her that I'm Granny, but she never did. Somehow, to her, Granny came out sounding like Bangie. And so that's what she always called me. Now, I've even got nieces and nephews that call me Bangie. It's just something different, I guess. Never heard of it before, but I've never been a grandmother before either. And it's special, a special name, because I truly believe that people who want to call me Bangie love me, and I've loved them forever also. I've stored and moved this genealogy history all these years, and I don't believe I realized the importance, to me at least, the importance of having that, keeping it, saving it for generations to come. I don't believe I understood how really important it was to me. But today, talking to you about it, tears in my eyes, you can tell how this is emotional to me. And I hope when you look at it, when you read it, that it'll tug to your heart also. Today, we are completing some of the genealogy that you are reading. And as I said times before, love is in my heart for you. And if what we're doing today and days past help you to have an understanding of our family, then all this effort, all these years of collections and keeping track of them, that's all worth it. It's all. We're just almost completely done. I wish I could hug every one of you. Every one of you. I can't. However, you have this to remember. And it was all, every bit of it, was all done out of love. I don't want you to feel like things are over. They're not. They aren't over. But as long as we're here, we have the memories of all the years. Memories. Some of them, I've even forgotten some of my memories. But what I have are dear to me. And I don't know how to say that we're finished with this collection of genealogy records. But I do know how to say, remember my love for you. Nolan, many, many, many thanks today.
Oh, Vilma, thank you.
You want it in the front or?
Oh, just here.
See the sign?
Yeah.
The eye doctor is in.
Well, this is the end of the trip.
This is the end of the trip.
What do you want to say, Vilma, before
It's been a good day,
the day?
We didn't accomplish what we set out to accomplish. That's for another day, but we had a good day.
And we have to plan on the next trip. Hello, my name is Hal N. Wilson. I'm the son of Don L. Wilson and the son of course, my mother, Quillie Dean Wilson. My mom is Wilma Dean Wilson, but I love the Quillie Dean story. Now, the story that I'm wanting to give you is so much not a story, but a process that I've been through in the making of this collection of data come to the digital arena. We were lucky and found Dolan, who I can't thank enough, nor would my mom be able to thank enough for having the patience to go through her, 16 3-ring binders, 4 to 5-inch style of data that she has collected. And as a little guy in the early 60s, when mom would go visit with family or see an aunt or an uncle, a cousin, she would take her spiral binder and carry it along and then start interviewing family, talking to them about what they remembered, who was buried where, what their names were, how many children they had. And this evolved to the monster that it is today here at the house, if you will, where these binders are stored. And it has always been a want for my mother to put it together. And so this journey began, and it has been an eye-opener as well as the opportunity for me to see how much pleasure mom has gotten from this process. This process, combined with the technology that I taught Dolan how to use, not really. Dolan came with 30 years of genealogy research, started his work in Utah with the Mormon church there or tabernacle, I should say, there in Utah, and then has migrated and ended up in Rogers, where we met with him, and he has now been to the house numerous times, generally every Monday for the past 4 months. Now, the process has been eye-opening, of course, for me, and to understand a little bit more about the family and that crazy part of the Wilson side and Field side that takes us all the way to Adam and Eve. So the song about I Come to the Garden, that has a lot more meaning now than it did. And then on the Robinson side, mom's love for Ireland and want to have a connection to Ireland came true. And if you go to the website that Dolan is putting on 2 different videos that you'll be seeing. One video in particular tells you exactly how to click, drag, and go to open up the site. You'll have options for 2 sites. One is the Wilson Fields, and the other one is, of course, the Robinson Gregory site. And each require a separate login. And during that process, you're going to get to see some really cool pictures, some old like me, and some older like older. And then the connection, which is intriguing to me, is the connection to the Native American side of ancestral research and genealogy. And oddly enough, this video is going to create a need for us to travel to Durant, Oklahoma, to look at the Choctaw Nation and to see about the genealogical connection that the family has there to the tribe. We've already, on one video, you saw a picture and video of us traveling, and I don't know that it was really clear, but we traveled to Tahlequah, Oklahoma, Cherokee County, and went to the Cherokee tribe headquarters and looked at the connections to the tribe, in particular one Rawls Roll tribe connection. So it's been literally and honestly my pleasure throughout this entire time, regardless of COVID and regardless of virus and regardless of how you feel, it's been my pleasure to be able to go on this journey with Mom. It truly has been a lot of time sitting at the table, the dining room table here at the house in Arkansas, and seeing this stuff unfold one binder at a time, and to see Dolan take those binders and digitalize them into usable data to be involved in this research project. And I'll call it a project because, or I could call it a task and a job that my brother missed out on. And it's been quite the work, and the work has been mainly on Dolan and Mom. I'm just kind of the facilitator here at the house, but I haven't worked nearly as hard as Dolan and Mom have. But it's been an experience. It's been a ride that, if it makes you wonder about your family or the other side of the Robinson and Gregory side that you might be married into or associated with, it's going to make you want to do the same thing. And of course, I would recommend, and Mom would recommend, that you contact Dolan. Of course, this is not a commercial for him, but it's just speaks of his professionalism and his abilities and skill sets. The video that has been put together is a combination of taping Mom in the parlor as she sits in the chair and talks, to sitting here at the dining room table and going over particular stories, interviews, and that sort of thing, clipped and pieced together to make the video that you will hopefully enjoy and see. Now, a lot of the information you might be aware of that it exists, but to see it play out on the click and drag of the website is literally amazing. To look at the picture, click on the picture, see who the picture is. Who is that person? That looks like so-and-so, and click on it and find out that you were either right or wrong. And then to see when they were born, when they passed, it's an eye-opener. Honestly, it is. And the other thing that's really neat to know or to understand is that you can't see, if someone is living, you can't see, because of the laws that are involved in identity theft. You can't see those people. And so there may be some concern about, well, what about so-and-so? Well, that might be an indication that they are still with us here, and that the roles involving their passing have not been recorded, or they have been recorded and possibly incorrectly. So that's up to your researcher to get that corrected, and it is a big process to do that, of course. We've had several trips locally to, and lucky for us here in town, there's a county extension office, and we've been able to do some of the Benton County searching for records here. And if we have had other calls in Arkansas to Madison County, those have been, people have been helpful. So good luck to you if you decide to journey and do this on your own, or to make this more in depth. And if you find something that we need to add to this, system to update it, then obviously contact us and we'll try to get that fixed right away. Enjoy the ride, and it is a ride. It has been a ride, and I think the ride continues for all of us. In these days, it's important. And wouldn't it have been neat to have had all this for Grandma and Grandpa and Ma Wilson and Paul Wilson? Wouldn't it have been neat to have had all this together in such a manner that we have it today? We're blessed. Thank you, and you all have a great new year coming up, just right around the corner. And I'll see you on the flip side.
Today, we are completing some of the genealogy that you are reading. And as I said times before, love is in my heart for you. And if what we're doing today and days past help you to have an understanding of our family, then all this effort, all these years of collections and keeping track of them, that's all worth it. It's all, we're just almost completely done. I wish I could hug every one of you. Every one of you. I can't. However, you have this to remember. And it was all, every bit of it, was all done out of love. I don't want you to feel like things are over. They're not. They aren't over. But as long as we're here, we have the memories of all the years. Memories. Some of them, I've even forgotten some of my memories. But what I have are dear to me. And I don't know how to say that we're finished with this collection of genealogy records. But I do know how say. Remember,